Hey everybody, this is Perch. This is a question that's come up a lot, kind of off and on over the years. Usually it's kind of a gotcha kind of question, but I don't think it's a gotcha. I don't think it's a good question, and I do think it's kind of a litmus test between people who read comics, people who are here to kind of enjoy stories, and people who are here to, I don't know, the other thing, to the other thing. All right, so the question is this. It's, hey Perch, thank you for your show. Appreciate it. Was listening to the video about Jessica Drew being recast as a black character in the upcoming Spider-Verse movie. By the way, one little aside in that, it is true this is a Jessica Drew Spider-Woman coming from an alternate reality, or sorry, a multiverse, a different universe. So in this universe, just like you have, characters who, instead of being men, they're women. You have that kind of gender swap. Suddenly, Captain. I was gonna say Captain Marvel's a guy, but that was actually how it originally started. Like Sue Storm is actually a man, and the other three members of Fantastic Four are women. I mean, you got these multiverses where they mess around with kind of who's who, and so it is true we're not seeing Jessica Drew in the MCU, in the 616, in the universe that is intentionally the main, quote unquote, mainline universe. We're not seeing that version. But for that matter, Miles Morales is technically not in the mainstream, 616 universe either. Or at least, I mean, who the hell knows where where all these characters are going? So it is true that Jessica Drew is coming from a different universe. That changes a little bit, but the point being that Jessica Drew has not been introduced. So this will be her first introduction into the kind of the more modern Marvel movie era. Obviously, she had other shows in the past, but that was a distance past, does not counting as this. So having her first introduction be a multiversal, not exactly Jessica Drew, it's just put it this way: it's going to cause questions when or if they suddenly decide to say, "Hey, here's Jessica Drew in the main universe hanging out with Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and suddenly she's white." People are going to be like, "What the hell? Why'd you whitewash her?" Even though the character originally came. That's why it maybe is not the best idea to do this. But whatever. Again, it is whatever. My point remains that if this is a collector hobby, and it is, and you teach people to get attached to characters, and then you change those characters, you can do that. It's your business, it's your dollar, it's your company. But what you can't do is act incredulous and surprised when people are like, "Well, wait a minute, this isn't the character." That's all I'm saying. It's phony when people go, "Well, what's wrong with it?" Do why people are upset? You created the situation in which they're upset. I mean, it's that simple. Anyway, there's all that. So back to the mail. Listening to the video, okay. It got me wondering, what kind of world is it going to take to recast the Black Panther as a white character? Like if Ryan Gosling, why, why Ryan Gosling? Why would you inflict that horror on us in any casting? Anyway, it's not fair. He's not the worst. Why can't we have Ryan Gosling as the Black Panther? It seems to me that if we're willing to race swap one direction, why is it that we never seem to want to race swap the other direction? It seems like that would only be fair. Curious to get your thoughts on this. Okay. I don't want it. I don't want Ryan Gosling as a Black Panther. I don't want that. I understand that people look at this as, hey, this would be fair because they changed the character from white to black in one area, so we should change the black character to white character in another area. That to me is why, why should we do that? That doesn't make any sense. Nobody. I don't want. When I look at comic characters and I look at these movies, I don't have like a little scorecard in my pocket going, all right, well, we've got 20% blacks over here and 10% Latino here and 20% white and 5% eight. Like that. If I have to do that, then I'm hating. I am hating the movie. Clearly I'm not enjoying the movie I'm at right now because I'm doing weird math during the movie to try and statistically assess the demographics of this. No, I don't know that is the opposite of actually enjoying the film. I get the debate point that, hey, if you're willing to race swap in one direction, you should be willing to race swap in all directions. And my argument is, how about no? How about we don't race swap these characters? How about we just let them be who they are? If again, if you're creating something brand new, do whatever you want. But the point is, you're taking established characters, established IP, and you're changing the race, the gender, whatever it happens to be, to go to the movie. And my suggestion is, but you're borrowing from source material that's well established, and you're using that source material as the hook to get people to come into your movie. Therefore, you ought to attempt to, be the same as the source material. Now, I get you that there are changes that sometimes have to be made because, of time. So, you don't want to do a bunch of Iron Man movies set in, with the exact same scenario as 70s. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. But, the race, the gender, the sexuality of characters, I think it's timeless. You don't need to switch those around. And I think you should stick to the source material. That's just my take. I'm not going to die on that hill. I just think if you're adapting something, then you should adapt it correctly. You should adapt it as it was. You don't need to go in there and meddle with it. And the last thing I want is for people to go, all right, we had three black characters, three white characters become black characters. So fair is fair. We got to make a black character a white character. Not like, no, how about I want that character to be black. I do not want a white T'Challa. That is insane. I especially not with Ryan Gosling. So here's my kind of general perspective on all of this, and it's this: does this benefit the story? So, for example, if you're going to make a movie with a white Black Panther, okay, what is the story reason for this? What is that like? Have you created an amazingly compelling, powerful, good, we want to watch it, we're interested in what's going on story? Have you done that? If you've got a good story to support white Black Panther, I'm listening. But that's the only reason why you should be doing this stuff is that the story, demands it or calls for it, or you could do something really cool with it. But otherwise, there's no like, let's be fair about it. Let's not be fair about it. Let's just have the characters be who they are, who the source material are. That's what I want. I see people posting pictures every now and then going, watch us trigger a liberal by showing a white person inside the Black Panther costume. It's like, if you're posting that, again, maybe it's a funny meme, you're just looking for a quick joke and a laugh. But if some part of you is serious, again, why? What have you gained? What possible advancement have you made toward the story? And my perspective is always on the same ground. It serves the story. It all has to serve the story. When I go in to watch a movie, I want to enjoy myself watching that movie. I don't go in to watch a movie going, I'm watching this movie as a sign of protest. What a pussy protest. It's a silly. I'm generally, I'm not anti-protest, but I find a lot of it very performative. Most of it very, very performative. And so, most of the time when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm like, okay, it's like the people who like, well, I'm not going to go volunteer at a homeless shelter. I'm not going to actually do any, real work on any of this. But I believe in the cause, so I'm going to tweet. I'm going to change my Twitter avatar to, a little icon that supports the unhoused, and that's how I'm showing my solidarity and support. It's like, how about you get off your ass and actually go, donate time at a homeless shelter? How about you give some money? How about you go, if you believe in these causes, go do it. Go do something. Otherwise, it just feels like I want to be seen as a good person. If you are, and quite frankly, that's probably my other problem with a lot of these characters, is the trolls who roll in, who's like, this is the true Spider-Man, this is the true Spider-Woman, and you're already seeing these characters had a blip in a trailer and a poster. I believe I'm not even sure about the trailer. But we've barely seen this character, and already it's like, this is the actual true Spider-Woman. emoji, a smiley face, heart eyes. Like you're just trying for you just want people to think you're a good person. And anyone who would think you're a good person because you say you like a animated black character over a white character, like fuck off. That's very sad. But to this question gets asked, I would say, to this channel. I think this first time I've answered it. I don't know. Like about every 3 months, somebody comes in going, "Don't you think we should have a white Black Panther?" No, no, no. That would be terrible. I mean, seriously, this sounds awful. You don't want that either. I'm just be honest with yourself. You want it because you want to be able to say, "Hey, look, we got one too." No, no, no. Again, if you're bringing a interesting story, an interesting concept that shows why I don't know, somehow, some way, we've got to get Ryan Gosling as a Black Panther. God knows, God help you. If you could write that story compelling, if you could make a story where Ryan Gosling is the Black Panther and it's an interesting, engaging, can't put it down story. If you're capable of doing that, I mean, fuck, you should be working. You should absolutely be in Hollywood writing all the movies because that is an impossible task, my friend. No, nobody wants that. Anyway, I look, I get the point. I get the point that hey, it goes one direction, not the other. And why does it go one direction, not the other? Because name your poison. Because Hollywood is got more liberals and conservatives. Because people are thinking the way we right the wrongs of slavery is through the Hollywood characters. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. But okay, you do you. I get it. I get that it's stupid, and it is. But in a dad Perch like way, you don't fight stupid with more stupid. That we all just get dumber in that process. Anyway, maybe you have a different take on it. Maybe you have the perfect Ryan Gosling white Black Panther story up your sleeve. Let's hear it. Otherwise, let's just not. Thanks for listening.